this experience around conformity and people having to change who they are, women of color having to repeatedly change who they are, hurts us. And as you have seen in the chat board, a lot of people are like, yeah, like I feel I'm holding trauma inside of me related to this. So let's segue then into how we empower women of color. I want to start off by just mentioning that in your book, you talk about shedding, the concept of shedding. And could you speak to why shedding is important for us as women of color? What does that mean? How do you make it happen?
Yeah, I call it shedding and carrying in the book. And so this idea that we have taken on, I mean, similar to what you just described, we have taken on all these messages that just don't work for us. They come from school, they come from our families, sometimes with the best of intent, right? But they're just not helpful to us. But they come from the media, they come from the leaders around us. Again, consciously and unconsciously, I say in the book, like I think little brown and black girls get messages of you're going to have to adjust, you're going to have to conform. Whereas we tell little white boys they're going to be leaders, right? We don't often hear that said to little black and brown girls. And so this idea that we are going to have to shed messages that don't serve us. And in the book, like when I was doing research, there were common messages that most women of color heard. Things like you're going to have to work harder. For the black women I interviewed, it was usually 4 times as hard just to get to the table and compete with your white colleagues. But for almost everybody, all the brown girls, it was twice as hard. So 2 to 4 times as hard is one example. The second is be grateful, right? Just be grateful you're at the table. So don't make a big deal. Just, don't push back, just be thankful. And then don't bring attention to yourself. So a lot of us come from communities where attention was bad, police presence or governmental presence was a negative thing. So we grew up with messages of just be under the radar. I'm just gonna pick on those 3. Those are probably the 3 most popular, the 3 most common sorts of messages that the women I interviewed had, and they took that to work. And so shedding is this process of like realizing like that doesn't work for me anymore. For me, my shedding process was the definition of success my parents had given me doesn't really serve me anymore. It's causing me to get sick. I'm going to have to figure out a different way. I see myself as worthy, as, successful. And so it's a process of shedding those messages that you've grown up with. And what I find with most of the women I work with is it's not 100 messages we're shedding. We're usually shedding 5 to 10 messages that come up over and over again. We're in moments of strife or something negative is happening. And it's that voice in our head that tells us we're not good enough or we need to do more, we need to try harder. And it's so important to get rid of those messages because they're on autopilot, to your point, and we need to be more conscious of.